You're about to meet a man named Julian Kessler. He's no prophet, no madman, no genius locked in a padded room with symbols etched on his walls. He's a janitor, works nights at the public library, has keys to every floor, and a mop that's seen more stories than any book. But Julian has one flaw. He looks up. In a world that's forgotten how to notice the sky, Julian Kessler looked up, and what he saw wasn't a cloud, it wasn't a storm, it was a brushstroke. It started on a Wednesday. That part he remembers clearly. The air had that overripe heat of a city that won't cool down, even after the sun gives up. He was locking up the south wing when something made him stop. The world felt too quiet, not peaceful, empty, like everything had taken a breath and forgot to let it go. He stepped outside, lit a cigarette, looked up, and the sky was wrong. It looked like it had been painted. Not in a poetic cotton candy way, not the kind you find on postcards. No, this was textured, moving, like the wind had left fingerprints. The clouds swirled in long arcs, as if dragged by bristles. The stars didn't twinkle, they pulsed, like someone couldn't decide if they should be stars or eyes. Julian stared, then laughed. Guess I'm more tired than I thought. But the sky didn't blink. It watched. The next night, the sky was worse. The clouds had rotated. He remembered the exact pattern. One spiral above the east end of town. Now it was mirrored, as if someone had dragged a brush backward. He pointed it out to a woman walking her dog. She smiled politely, then kept walking. He asked a kid at the bus stop. "It's just clouds, man." It wasn't. They weren't just different. They were repeating. The same clouds, the same spirals, the same formations, just shifted, slightly, like someone had copied the sky and was adjusting it. Julian started taking pictures, hundreds. He compared them every night, shifted the layers, adjusted contrast. And the horror wasn't that the sky had changed. It was that the sky was never the same twice. Not once. Every star's position, every curl of cloud, every flicker of moonlight on a passing plane. It was all different. Not like weather, like drafts, versions, paintings. He stopped showing people. They didn't see it, or didn't want to. That's when the dreams started. He dreamed of a hand, massive, pale, fingers too long, moving like tree branches underwater. It dipped into a dark sea, and each time it rose, it carried a different sky, swirled, starred, bent, each one placed into a frame, hung over the world, erased, replaced. He woke in sweat. He stopped sleeping. Weeks passed, the world moved on. Rent was due, coffee was reheated, but Julian couldn't look away. He began to recognize patterns, shapes. He swore one night the clouds spelled a word, not in letters, in structure. A spiral that looped back into itself, like a signature. He found it again 2 days later, then again, and that's when he knew. The sky wasn't for him. It was watching through him. His phone stopped working. Any photo he took of the sky came out blank, pure blue or pure black. No clouds, no stars, but only his phone. He borrowed a co-worker's, took a picture. The image showed the normal sky. He looked back up. It had changed again. Now it looked like an oil painting left out in the rain, dripping, melting, reforming. He stared too long. He started seeing the strokes in people. A man crossing the street with a wrist that bent just a little too fluid, a child blinking in loops, a woman on the train with shadows painted into her cheekbones. They were brushstrokes too, smudges, revisions. He realized he was watching them dry, and when the sky changed again, they weren't there anymore. Not dead, just overwritten, repainted. Julian stopped going to work. He sat on the roof, stared at the sky, not in wonder, in recognition, because he remembered something from a dream, the hand, and a voice, not loud, not angry, just curious. Does this one look right? You see, the sky isn't just the ceiling of our world, it's the canvas, and every day, every moment, someone is trying to capture a feeling they can't quite name. They mix clouds, swirl stars, add a man walking his dog, a bus turning left, a woman on a rooftop sipping wine. They tweak, they smudge, they erase, not out of malice, out of art, because the painter isn't human. It's trying to understand us, and the only way it can is to keep painting, again, and again, and again, until the sky finally feels right. Julian, he was the final detail, a smudge of soul on the canvas. But he looked up, he saw the signature, and now he's gone. Not erased, not destroyed, just hung, framed in a part of the sky you don't see unless you dream with your eyes open. But if you do, you'll know him by the shape of the clouds, because he's still watching, and he wants you to look up. Because maybe, just maybe, you're the final brushstroke.